Well, at what point does stress become a workplace disability? Disability and injury lawyer, personal injury lawyer Nainesh Kotak joins us, and we've had some stress this morning with our microphone program.
I hear.
So knock wood that it works throughout our whole segment here. So as we head back into September, you tend to see more of this because of the added stress. Stress temper.
Exactly. So stress temper, it's a real word, and to many people it is a very, very serious phenomena. So what's happening in September, the kids are sort of back to school. The productivity demand at most workplaces increases. Everybody's sort of back now.
Everybody's back from work.
You're full-time now. Targets need to be met. So there's a lot. I find people, their anxiety and depression gets worse during this month and September, and also in January, but in fact particularly in September, and it can lead to debilitating illnesses of depression, where people really they develop concentration issues and brain fog and have a really hard time getting back to work.
And at what point does it become a disability?
Right. So I think we have to look at, does it impact a person's ability to do their job? Can they do the essential tasks or not? Now, the beginning stages might be, sort of a dread of going in, some conflict at work, maybe issues with management, but it might progress to a point where the mere thought of entering that workplace becomes one that just sets a person off, sets them with panic attacks. When it gets to that stage, if the stress is so much that you are unable to perform your job, and at that point in time, one should start thinking about what type of leave options you may have, and certainly get treatment along that way. But I would say when it really becomes a disability for employment purposes and disability benefit policy purposes, it's when it impacts your ability to perform the essential tasks of your employment.
So are there forms that you have to fill out for this?
Sure.
And does it depend what your benefit coverage is like?
Yeah, there's a number of mechanisms that people could use or benefits that someone could use if they're disabled due to stress at work. The first is, let's say they don't have a disability plan. There's EI sickness, and that is about, I think it's 16 weeks of sickness. You can do that, take some time. If you have sick days, maybe take those sick days. If you have vacation time, you need that break out, maybe just take that vacation. You don't have to go anywhere. Just stay home for that week or so, just to sort of, regroup in terms of your mental state. The next thing would be, of course, if you have short-term or long-term disability plan available at work, make the application. To make the application, there's 3 forms. The first form is the employee statement, and essentially you're going to set out what your symptoms are and how it impacts you. There's set questions. The second form is the employer form, and the employer form is very basic. It's just what your pay was, etc. So, you really have to push your employer to fill out the form, because sometimes they are the cause of the disability. And the most important form is the physician statement, and that is where your doctor, your treating doctor, could be a family physician, could be a psychiatrist, someone who's going to set out, this is your diagnosis, and this is what you need at this time, and this is how your disability, in fact, affects your ability to function at work.
And do you have to, I guess it's good to disclose if the reason for your stress is something at work, because then maybe there could be a workaround, or maybe, maybe the employer doesn't know that that's a stressor kind of thing.
I think there should be open communication with the employer, even if they are the cause of it, because at least you document your objections to how you're being treated. Employers,
and that's important to do.
Very much so, for your own sake and for litigation's sake later on. Employers do have a duty to accommodate within reason. So if it's a mental health or stress condition, they have a duty to accommodate, and which could mean moving your department so you're not reporting to a particular manager. It might well mean allowing you to work from home instead of in the office if there's a social anxiety type of issue. There is a duty to do that if it can be done. So, and if an employer doesn't accommodate, it could give rise to a human rights complaint, and also a constructive dismissal claim, and a lawsuit for human rights abuses as well. So very important, let your employer know what the situation is, even if they're the cause of it. Take advantage of the EAPs, employer assistance, the programs that might be available for certain employers, where they give you counseling and to help you. The most important thing is to get treatment, talk about the stress, because the more you bottle it up inside, at some point it's going to blow up and not be a good outcome.
Okay. We made it through a whole segment without our mics failing. That's a good thing.
It is absolutely a good thing.
That eases my stress today. Thank you, Nainesh. We'll get all your links up on our website at chch.com/morninglive.